At the same time, we have some articles in the treaty, the Article 3 and the Article 167, which enable us to have some activity in culture at the European level, but we are always making sure that what we are doing is very much complementary to the action of the member states, and that we always bring about very strong and visible, tangible added value to what we do. We have been preparing for the new program for the last 2 years. We have done several studies. We have had our open method of coordination with the member states who have given us their positions and their advice. There have been some green papers and council conclusions. We have done public consultations. We have evaluations of the current programs, which is the media program, Media Mundus program, and culture program. We have done impact assessments, and we have had intensive structured dialogue with the sector. Based on all this information, we have started the conception of the new program. Based on the Europe 2020 strategy, and based above all on the experience from the last few years, because in addition to the intrinsic value of culture, we are very much aware during the period of economic and financial crisis in Europe that, and this has been mentioned by the Commissioner already today, culture has been resisting, the culture and creative sectors have been resisting the economic crisis much better than many other sectors, which shows that there is a high potential, even economic and social potential in this sector, and that is also why we have somehow moved much closer to the core area of the Europe 2020 strategy with culture. At the same time, we have several challenges in culture. As you well know, and it has been mentioned here today by first speakers this morning, it's a very fragmented area. There are many small markets due above all to the language barriers. It is not easy for the culture operators and artists to break into new countries. And we also have the linguistic diversity as a value, but at the same time as a challenge. The digital shift, which was very much on the agenda today here, is another big problem for us, because it brings huge challenges which were not expected. When we were starting with the current culture program 7 years ago, nobody was really talking about these novelties, these challenges. And for us, one of the main responses to this is to engage audiences as active participants in what we are doing, not just passive observers, because with the digital era, is opening vast new opportunities. As the moderator has just suggested, concerning the readiness for tomorrow in this area, we think that basically this is the response, the responding to the digital shift by as much transnational activity, as much transnational actions, and promoting the transnationality of our culture exchanges is one of the responses to this, despite the fact that in many cases we still do not have the legal environment which we need. Another challenge is the chronic difficulties for the small and medium enterprises in the sector to access money from the banks. 60% of these are micro-enterprises. We have many people who are self-employed in the sector, and we estimate that the funding gap is between 2.8 and 4.8 billion euros. We are witnessing every day that the banks do not understand the sector, and there is a lack of incentive to invest and to develop expertise in this area. And the last but not least, and this is something which has been also addressed today, above all, among others, by Director General Truszczynski, that we do not have sufficient comparable data in the cultural field, which makes it difficult, of course, to identify problems and to develop evidence-based policies. With the new program, which we are going to launch in the days and the months to come. We are trying to tackle at least some of these challenges. First of all, the two small programs we have had until now are being brought under one roof. So we are bringing culture and media plus the Media Mundus International program under the umbrella of Creative Europe. And we are simplifying the funding schemes for the beneficiaries and, of course, adding, as I just explained, new objectives and new priorities. So, the fragmented market, there we will concentrate on the capacity building to help artists to develop international careers, which is very, very important, and support, as we have done until now, but even more, the transnational circulation of works, including international touring and literary translations. The digital shift, again, focus on audience development, but also peer learning, knowledge transfer, because many things are being done in different corners of Europe, which many other people inside the European Union have no knowledge about. So our role is to facilitate the exchange of these experiences, to bring people together and make it easier for them to understand each other and to learn from each other. Secondly, access to finance. Well, we have been thinking about this for quite a long time, and at the end of the day, we have come up with the idea that there will be a new financial guarantee facility which will enable cultural operators to get loans from banks guaranteed by the European Investment Fund. This is an important innovation and something the sector has been looking for quite a long time. At the same time, unfortunately, the structure or the profile of the funding of the new program does not enable us to launch it immediately in 2014. So because we have the profile of the program is there is a little dip in the first 2 years, so we will be able to start with the loan guarantee facility only as of 2016. So the first calls for interest will be done in 2015. But again, we have put aside 121 million euros per year. We shall see how this develops. It is a pilot kind of activity, and if there is more interest, we will see to it that this is being developed and strengthened as time goes by. Lack of data, there we are going to have a transversal strand in the new program, which will enable us to finance different studies and surveys to get better information about the statistical data in culture in Europe. We will also extend the mandate of the European Audiovisual Observatory to other cultural and creative sectors, not only cinema. And we will see to it that Eurostat considers working in the culture area substantially more than was the case until now. So here you can read the general objectives which I have just explained. And the specific objectives of the program, the main thrust should be, as with the culture and media program until now, transnational operation, adding the capacity to what is being done at the level of member states, promoting the transnational circulation of culture and creative works and operators, and reaching new audiences, then strengthening the financial capacity of the culture and creative sector, in particular the small enterprises, and support transnational policy cooperation in order to foster development, innovation, audience building, and new business models. So there we are. We have, as the Commissioner stressed this morning, a program of 1.46 or exactly 1.462 billion euros for 7 years, which you will agree is a drop in the ocean and a very small fraction of the overall EU spending. But we are quite proud that we have managed to have a 9% increase in the period of austerity where most of the other programs are decreasing. This amount is going to be divided into two sub-programs. We will have 31% for the culture sub-program, 56% for the media sub-program, and 13% for the cross-sectoral strand. What we are going to support, well, here you can have an overview of the lines of action which are supported by the media sub-program. There, basically, we are going to continue supporting the distribution of European films, the production of original European cinema and co-productions of films between European countries.